All right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the 5ers Live Trading Room. It's Monday. What's up, Louis? Hope you're doing good. I cannot pronounce your name, and I'm terribly sorry for that, but I wish you all the best this trading week, and welcome, welcome, welcome. How you doing, Victor? How's your
I'm
weekend, man?
doing fine. Yes, a new start of the week, right? So we have
Yes.
that's moment to embrace the market, right? After the
Oh,
weekend
yeah.
that you're resting, charging your batteries, this is the moment to fixate your focus on this coming week. How do you want to execute your plan? And this is a new beginning. Every week we have this chance to make this week a better one than the one we left behind. So it's great. How is everyone doing at home watching us or wherever you may be? How are you doing? Let us know in the chat how uh, how your
The
weekend
Profit
was.
Pulse. That's a good name. Profit Pulse. I like that.
Profit
Yep. Good luck to
pulse.
everyone in the
Nice.
coming week. Definitely. What we're doing now here today is we're gonna do some live trading. So it's not gonna be a specific educational webinar today. You're not gonna learn anything from watching this webinar live stream. We're just gonna do live trading. But yeah,
Well,
it's one thing. I think watching us trade is it's a lot of times better than me having like a presentation, because sometimes I do a presentation but from the feedback and from the comments I get, it's like it seems like people watching, they like to see us execute the trades, because I think that's what it's all comes down to. Like, we can be really good analysts, right? We can say that, oh, because of this bullish engulfing candle on EU, it looks like EU is going to continue higher. But then to actually execute on that idea is so much more difficult than what it sounds like. So yeah, that's what we're going to be focusing on today. Doing some live market analysis and some live trading, and also some planning for the week ahead. And I think I'm just going to pull up my chart right away and talk about what I got going on right here. By the way, look at that. Look at that. I have a screen in the background, which means I can now look at the live stream, and I can this is another level of difficulty. You see, I can trade on the screen behind me, and everything is in reverse. Now that's gonna be the world championship of trading, reverse trading. That's the last stage of trading. Some people say that the intuitive stage of trading is the last stage of trading, but to watch a mirrored screen and do it all in reverse, that's something else.
that's the last
Um,
stage.
no,
coming
so we
back
got we
to
got the
coming back to
yeah. Go
what you
ahead.
said about learning, I think there are there is a lot of diversity in how people learn,
Yeah.
and presentation is one way, and it's a great way, but also watching how we do it, how others do it, is also a great way to learn. And I think both of them. There's a lot of value in learning, right? Some people, they need to see others doing it to learn, and then so today will be a great opportunity for everyone, especially those who need examples to learn by. And if anything, you can ask us why we did what we did in the chat, and we can go through it and let what our thought process was. Why did we do it in spite of some counter arguments? Because usually it's like that, right? When you enter or you exit or you do whatever, and if you do a completely discretionary, you have pros and cons of each action you do. It's not like clear cut, but by some, we're considering all these kinds of factors, and at some point, one of them, or the net side, is it tilts one side, and we do or we don't do one of those options. So the whole process of considering all those things, I think is very can be very a learnful experience.
I learned something this weekend. I learned on Friday that I'm maybe not as strong of a runner as I thought I was. So I ran 15K, and I thought I was dying at around 10, 11K. And yeah, that was probably one of the most difficult things I ever done in my life. That was insane. Like, fairly unprepared. Haven't really, didn't really drink a lot of water. It was very hot. Like, not really prepared. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna run 15K. And the longest I ever run was like 13 or 14 early this summer. Like that was, oh man, that was so. Yeah, learn the lesson, prepare, make plans, and it's just like in, in trading. If you're gonna run, if you're gonna let that winner run, you better prepare. You better have a plan.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
lucky.
yes, indeed.
I'm here. I'm alive, and very tired, very tired, but I'm alive.
What important I
So
think
yeah,
is from that experience as well is that you cross the finish line, right?
yeah,
Sometimes you cross the finish line, so you didn't let that setback you had by that experiencing that extreme discomfort while running or doing whatever it is anyone can do, but you push through and you got to the finish line. And that's, I think that's a celebration in its own, and just finishing is also already a winner.
definitely. Okay, so I have the only idea that I'm gonna be looking at here is USD and so I made my weekend trade plans here, and I got a few ideas I'm watching, and I'm watching USD for possible long. The reason why I like this for possible long is the fact that we're coming down into a support area. I do think that I quite like this as a support area, and we do have a nice little bullish engulfing candle here on the 4 hour. Looking at the 1 hour, we're now retracing this move to the upside. I do think that, well, I looking at the higher time frames and the fact that we are at high time frame resistance, I'm kind of expecting a bounce somewhere down here, Um, and if we add the fibs to this low time frame move as well, we'll see that we're coming down into the reload zone right here as well. We had a 0.618. And so I'm actually thinking about taking a trade here where I'll place my stop loss like somewhere around down here. And I'm just looking for a move up to the last local high, which is going to be around this area right here. So I'm giving the either I'm going to place my orders down here. It depends on what price is doing. I'm going to probably be monitoring the lower time frames here, because we do see that we do have a level around this area right here. On the 15-minute, maybe we can make it a little bit smaller, and we're now starting to see somewhat of a bullish reaction here. Looking at 5-minute, still no bullish candle on the 5-minute, but if we do get like a nice bullish engulfing here on the 5-minute, could definitely enter this. Just looking for a move up to not even the FTA, just right below these lows right here. And this is the reason why I've had fairly high win rate throughout these last couple of weeks, because I'm just looking for a very, very small initial, almost like a scalp move based on a high time frame level. So I'll probably be taking this trade. Let's see, where do we have that one? If I enter here,
there is an outside bar right there on the H1, just for your
yeah,
reference. So I don't know, you don't use them like specifically, but you could see if it aligns with your tools that you do use, because I
yeah.
think if the buyers got in at that moment in the past, they're likely to get in again. So if I were to see that that dollar CAD, the US dollar CAD, I would let the way price action reacts to that outside bar, or the order block that it forms by the outside bar, to be the indication if the buyers are coming in again or not. Because if they're, at least that's my way of looking at it, if they're coming back, they're likely to be coming back in relation to that order block, right in it, maybe squeezing it a little bit onto the downside, but that's the likely
The
place.
problem here is the problem I'm having here is I've kind of missed the move. I did, like, when I actually pulled this up, I had MetaTrader up and everything, and I wanted to just market enter when we were in the zone, and now it kind of looks like I've missed the move. I don't want to be chasing this one right here, because I was just you can't see it because I'm only sharing the trading view window, but I got the MetaTrader window up here, and I was just about to press market buy, and then I go back to trading view and look at the price, and I say, well, it's going to be up here, so I'm going to get filled here, and if I want to TP here with that stop loss, then that's just going to be outrageous. That's not going to be a good trade. So probably missed an entry here. As you can see, the 50-minute candle is going to close in 4 minutes, and it's a big wick on that one. It looks like that was the retest that I was looking for, but this is not a loss. I didn't lose, missing out on a trade like this, didn't lose any money. And what happened here was actually the plan that I had actually worked out. If looks like it might potentially work out very very well, you know.
Hmm.
So it looks like it might work out very well, which is a win of itself, because if the idea plays out, then my analysis was correct, and then you'll think that, well, the next one I'll find an entry on the next one. I will, though. I will put an order here. You know what? No, I think the general idea is gone here. So for me, this trade is gone. I will just monitor this just for the sake of it. Gonna look at another pair here, see if I can find an entry. So on GBP JPY, I want to show you. We got on the daily, we have. I would still consider this to be somewhat bullish. I mean, it's very this is a very messy chart, but I would say that if you're looking at this, it's bullish slash neutral. But if we can get a bounce here, like we're getting right here, it's a break and retest, basically break and a retest of that level. If I can have a bullish reaction, and the 4-hour candle is going to close in 47 minutes. So if this 4-hour candle, because we have a bullish pin bar on the previous one as well, so if this 4-hour candle can close bullishly, which means could be up here, I would then target the last local highs somewhere around here with a with a stop below this level right here. So I would target that one, and then just enter for a small move up to the last local high. Again, just a small scalpish type of trade on a high time frame level. You can see here on the 1 hour that we need to reclaim this area right here to get sort of like a move like this to take it up to that level. So that's GBP JPY. Okay, we're looking
Before
at
you
USD CAD.
continue,
Yeah.
can everyone see the chart properly? Is it properly visible for everyone? Can we see the audience, the viewers? Can they see the candles? If they can let us know in the chat.
Dude, I don't know why I have a hoodie on. I gotta get naked. Give me a second. Not naked, but I gotta take my hoodie off. I get all excited, guys.
You're funny, Jonathan. Everything
how's
is
my
good.
hair?
Says
Terrible. I gotta have the only reason I
Rico.
have this. Okay, I'm talking and you're talking, and I don't have the headsets, and I
No problem. But yeah, that's summer, right? That's summer. Summer is in the air. But
yeah,
no, chart
man.
is
Let's get
clear.
naked.
Says
Let's do some
Ivan.
naked trading.
Yes,
What I mean by
Henry
naked
and
trading is naked levels, like naked charts, no indicators, obviously.
yeah, you're bringing trading naked charts to another level.
Yes.
But it
that
seems
would be an interesting experiment, though.
would it?
Maybe interesting, but maybe not as fun as one would probably like.
But I think we have confirmation that everyone is able to see the chart well, so you can continue with what you were doing, because it would be a pity, you explaining something and people not seeing them, not getting the value they're trying, the visuals you're trying to, convey with the story. But go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the idea in GBP JPY, is waiting for that to kind of get above that level. We get USD CAD. Again, I feel like this is gone. Euro NCD. That's right, Henry. Anything to get? No, I've passed that. I don't really care anymore. I feel like well, with that said, hit the like. But I do feel like I'm over that.
I
Okay,
think
so
people
on
know what
you,
you mean. You're not
yeah,
chasing the likes, but you're healthily, requesting them to. You're
definitely.
stimulating them to give the likes, but you're not chasing them like maybe someone would at the first time around.
Yeah. Okay, so we got a level here on, added this indicator, which I believe is quite good, adding horizontal levels very nicely here. So and by the way, this indicator you can find it by just typing in SRMTF, and it's going to come up here, support and resistance channel zones, and it adds
How
horizontal
good is
levels
it?
automatically. It's actually very good.
Really? What is it
Yeah,
used? What does it? How does it work? I mean, does it?
it just It just adds horizontal levels.
I see. But
And
have you used it, and do you have some? Have you been using it, or is it just visually seems like correct?
yeah, no, I'm trying it out. So I'm adding this, and then first, usually what I do is I add my own levels, and then I add that one, and I see if there's agreement with my levels and
Hmm.
whatever level the indicator. And I guess I do have a level down here that I've added on my own, and then if I add the indicator, it's just
Precisely.
gonna add like so it adds like that right here, which I think is quite good. Um,
Hmm.
and then yeah,
So
it's quite good at adding levels here. So I have on the Euro NCD, I do have an idea here that I'm playing around with. It's inside. It's tested the upper part of that level. It's inside the reload zone, and we have a bullish candle here on the 4 hour. The problem though, it's in a downtrend on the 1 hour. So okay, what settings do I have? Let's look at that. What settings do we have? I think I just have the. I've just started playing around with this last week, so I just have the 1 day as high time frame, and then I think everything is as usual. And yes, I do miss some good levels as well, but I think overall it's quite good. Um, you see, we have a downtrend coming into this level, so I mean, this could be either we have a continuation of downtrend, or this could be a new lower high. So I want to see this basically something like this, and this would be the trade probably just a small move up here. So that's what I'm looking at currently on Euro NCD. And I've got GBP, JPY still interesting. Putting in an alert here. What about AUD CAD? Yeah, I'm waiting for pullback on AUD CAD, so down to this level and a bounce. And I think that those are the yeah, I think those are the only interesting trades I'm watching right now. Other than that, it's like I think I am starting to get that feeling of kind of like being a little bit stressed. I want to get into a trade, and I guess that's never a good thing, when you start feeling like you want to be trading. So in that scenario, when I start to feel like I really want to be in a position, I usually want to take it a little bit easy, take a step back, and observe the markets more than I'm actually trading.
Yeah, I think you said something into the same direction. I believe on Monday you started
Yeah.
saying that you wrote in your diary or your journal about the fact that you're feeling a bit stressed, somewhat stressed, and you had the winning streak coming to, statistically it was going to end at some point. So, and you knew that, and that was, affecting you, basically. So is this something related to that same issue, like about losing streaks, winning streaks, or is this something different?
No, I mean, for me, yeah, I mean, it's definitely what I've learned from last week was, I took two trades, and one of them my exited at break even, and one was a loser. And I realized that both of them should have been winning trades. And the reason why I got bad entries on those because I basically entered too early based on FOMO, and that was the first sign of that happening was me starting writing in the journal about feeling stressed. And so now this week when I start feeling that right away, like, oh, I'm a bit stressed, then I know that okay, the trades needs to be perfect, and if I miss the trade, so you can look at USD CAD here, for example. I might have entered this trade, and I
Hmm.
might have entered this trade, and I might have been filled up here, at the very top of that candle, and then I would just start seeing it move lower and lower and lower. While if I actually entered on that wick where I wanted to enter, well, I would actually probably already have been yeah, that might actually already have been a winning trade, because I'm just looking for a half an hour trade. So there's a big difference between, having an instant winner almost, and compared to having a late entry and you're seeing that going to drawdown. So yeah, I mean, the fact that I early identified that feeling probably made me not enter this trade right here, which is a
Yeah,
good thing, of course.
which I think that speaks a lot about. I think that the fact that you reacted properly to the stress, that the fact that you're feeling stress is because of last week, that you experienced what happened and you're now more aware of it, how it affects your trading going forward, and you're dealing with it, which is the right way to be doing things.
I have on yeah. So on the contrary to that, to talk about something completely different that goes against like all my rules. Do you think it would be a good idea for me to go into the Fiverr's website right now, buy a bootcamp account, and start trading that on the 1 minute with like very little rules, and see how it goes?
I think it's a great experiment and showcase for everyone who wants to see how someone who has experienced trader, um, how you fare in an environment where you don't have the same constraints of your strategy, right? Because that's what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not going to be your specific trade plan, but this is more discretionary, right, on the 1 minute.
Yeah, I think it's a terrible idea, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So if you pull up your screen,
Okay,
then I'm gonna go into the Fiverr. I'm gonna buy a bootcamp account. I'm gonna connect to the MetaTrader, and let's see see how it goes.
sure. In the
I'll be
meantime,
I'll
you're
prob-
going to in the meantime that you're going to do that, I will go over what I think about pound and eventually EU for not necessarily this week, but what I'm looking for this week, or what I'm reading from the week's close, last week's close, etc. So if we compare the GU and EU, you can see a clear sign. Although to me it's clear, but you can see how the rounded movement for EU. Let me make this bigger, which is not visible on EU, on GU. I mean, when you zoom out a little bit, as I zoom in, it's less visible, but you can see from afar. This is the monthly, of course, I'm aware of that, but you can see how it's that rounded movement when you zoom out. And to me, that's the deceleration and acceleration, right? Because that's what makes and forms that that pattern, or that, yeah, chart pattern in the market. So that speaks to me of bullishness building up. All right, so we have that. We go to the weekly on let's go back to GU. But what do we have? We have building of bullishness on the monthly order block. I mean, monthly order flow. We have a one order block being formed, another one being formed, and price coming back into it, retesting it, and pushing up. So everything, it seems like, it's following that bullish script. So what are the next areas? We are currently in a supply zone, so we don't have anything for it to look for. This is already a supply zone, but the fact that it's building bullish order flow, or it's showing bullish order flow while being and interacting with this order block, this supply zone, tells me that it's quite likely that it's going to try to get away, get out of it, maybe even invalidate it. So that's something, just looking at on the monthly, I would expect price to continue in the coming weeks, or in the coming months, by the way, because this is the monthly. Um, so that's okay. That's a lot of bullishness. And if we look at this as well from the weekly, where do you see, for the viewers, where do you see the impulsive movement in the last couple of weeks? These are the weekly um, chart, of course. If you notice the difference, how the the bearish bars bodies are smaller in comparisons to the bullish bars, right? And it's following the same script. There's a clear pattern there. Look at those bullish bodies, and then it goes into retracement, counter trend, and the bodies become compressed, and it does it again. Bullishness, and then the retrace is in compressed order candles or bodies of the candle. So that tells me that is already a sign of bullishness, right? The direction that is like the side that is more in control typically is more able to show impulsive movements, which are expressed with bigger bodies. So to me, this is, although we are in a monthly supply area, it's not showing signs of deceleration. So this is firmly still bullish on the weekly, and it's likely to continue that until it shows us otherwise. What else we can look? If you go to the to the daily, we do have a let's see, we do have a the to me, this is the neckline. This is the structural break. If it breaks this, then we have a break of structure in terms of the typical quasi that I use. And as we can see here, it did not break that structure. So it is firmly bullish on different forms, right? Different lenses. Whether you're looking for that break of structure, whether you're looking for those impulsive moves, in the size of the bodies on each side, both all of those signs, all of those ways of interpreting price actions are telling us that the buyers are in control. And until it shows us otherwise, we should be, going up would be the easier direction for price. What else do we see? It broke. I left this here. It broke a bearish order block, which is a bullish sign, right? Breaking bearish structures, and we are now on the daily interacting with the last structure on the daily from this swing point, right? All of this is, of course, depending on the time frame. It may react to this, right? And that's what I would expect, because there is a supply zone here. But eventually, I would expect that it breaks it because of the higher time frame, right? That's why using a higher time frame makes things easier, because even though you don't know what will happen next, you have a good idea, a good grasp that it's likely eventually it will break it, because that's what the higher time frames are telling us, and higher time frames are more powerful, as simple as that. So I don't have a quasi on the daily, so I don't have a reason to go short. Uh, just because there is a supply area is not enough. It needs to be within. It needs to check a certain number of boxes, and it's not doing that right now. Other than that, we don't have any fresh order block to indicate that it might have a soon a move to the downside yet. So we don't have that information. We need to wait for the more data. Maybe this week we will get some information to get that information, that probability going up, that it might retrace before continuing, because that's what we expect, right? Price continuing going higher eventually. And on the H4, what do we have? I do see we do have a quasi, but this quasi is not valid to me. It has too many order blocks, so I'm not going to be trading this as a short. Although I do see how it is reacting currently to that daily order block, so I will be based on. Let me rephrase what I just said. Based on this quasi, there is a quasi here, with this being the head and this being the left shoulder. That quasi is too big for this time frame, right? You got to recognize the time frame of each pattern, right? This quasi, look at this. This is the head, and that is way too big, right? I've measured it, and I know that it's less likely to work when the ratio of this leg is so much bigger than the rest of the structure, right? So it's important to recognize what time frame you're in, so you know if this is valid or not. We So I don't have a reason to go short or looking for a short here. And currently we are showing a bearish order block. If it closes like that in 28 minutes, then I could be looking for a short from this area, right? Remember, it hasn't closed yet, so it's not a foregone fact. But if it does that, then I would be going to the lower time frames and try to find out where is it likely to bounce off. If it is going to react from that order block, where is it going to bounce off at, which would be probably this. Let me compare that with the H2. And I will measure these two, because which one I choose depends on the ATR. As you guys know me, I use the ATR a lot. And I have a filter for the order blocks that I use based on the ATR of that pair, which helps me navigate the changing volatility, ever changing volatility of each pair. So right now I would be, let me see how much this is. That is, yeah, I would be taking the H2 in this case, because I just applied my filter, and this is the area then that I would be looking for price. Remember, we started on the macro, and the macro I'm bullish, so I don't want to take this for very long. If I take it, it's going to be a daily intraday trade, maybe an overnight, but only if I have reasons. Other than that, it should only be something from one level to the next on the relevant time frame. So in this case, if we look down, what do we have? We have this order block as a possible target, right? See how I'm building the setup based on structures. And I know that it's against the macro, so I don't want to hold it for very long. But if it sets up, I want to be part of it. Let's see if this is. Let me see if this is likely, or if this is a good target for today. The target is daily 92. 92 would be the ATR for today. So that makes it very nice setup. At 92, it's 100 ATR, which is perfectly aligns perfectly with the order block below us. So this could be something that I could be trading for today, but it needs to close before and actually make that order block on the H4 a fact. It's not a fact yet, so we have to wait for the close, and then I would go to the lower time frames, and in this area, right, this area, which is my area of interest, I would be looking for the reversals for price as it is coming back into this order block on the lower time frame. It starts breaking and forming those reversal pattern, and I want to be getting in on that right shoulder as it comes back, and see if I can hold it all the way to the target of today, or maybe some other structures on its way, depending on how the day continues, right? So that's a nice possible setup that we might have today. And if it presents, I will take it live, and maybe I can, even if it doesn't present completely the way I do it, I could potentially enter and just take on the lower time frame. So maybe from not to the H4 structure, which I would do if everything lines up and it's actually a signal in my system. If it's not a signal in my system, I can still trade it from maybe not to the H4 anymore, but maybe to an H1, or maybe to some other lower time frame structure, because that's what typically what price does. So how is the account buying process going, Jonathan?
Good. I'm in my first trade already. So yeah, making moves. I got the account and I'm in my very first trade here. Got a little bit of an early entry here on EU. But so the idea here is Basically, it's a low time frame level right here, and I'm just looking for a. And I'm trying to do the analysis and everything in MetaTrader, which I'm not really used to MetaTrader when doing my analysis. But as you can see, I've added a very nice rectangle here, and for some reason, the candles inside this rectangle this looks weird. But what we have here is basically a break above this level, right? So we're coming down and we're retesting this level right now. And as you can see, we're also, I don't have to add the fibs, but if we're inside the reload zone, I can perhaps add the fibs and show you that, you know, where here's the 0.618, which means that this is the reload zone right here. And I'm looking for a bounce here up to that level. We can look at the 1 hour that on the 1 hour, we have sort of like a move to the upside, right? So we have a move to the upside here, and here we have a nice, like a very nice bullish reaction to this level. And I'm looking to get in on this move to. I'm expecting this move to kind of continue a little bit to the upside. What I don't really like though is I'm basically we're at some sort of resistance here. It feels like we're at some sort of high time frame resistance. Now I haven't looked at my levels on the on trading view, but you can look at here on the daily. We do come up and we're testing a sort of a resistance area here on the daily, and I guess it looks fairly likely that we kind of want to come down and test lower levels, but I'm not really trading this based on the high time frames. I'm basically only trading this based on the lower time frames. And now the level that I had added here is gone. I don't know what happened with that one, but it's now gone. So we'll see. I got my stop loss here, and I got my TP up at that level. It's a low risk to reward trade. Looks like I'm gonna get stopped out on this one, but this is gonna be an experience, interesting experiments where I will see if I can apply a very simple approach on EU to see if I can make some money on this. I'm expecting that it's not. I don't think it's gonna go well, but the thing is, it's. There's some money on the line. I mean, it's $95, which is not really a lot of money. It's the cheapest bootcamp account for $95. It's a 25K bootcamp account, and so I'm not really. That's the only thing I'm risking. So what's cool about this is I'm basically I know what my loss will be. My loss if I completely if this experiment doesn't work, I'll lose $95, and that's you can view that as tuition towards your education. Like this is an education in trading price action, and if it doesn't work, I'll lose $95, and that means I'm learning something very important for that $95, because what I can do as well is I can connect this account to Edgewonk and get quite a lot of interesting statistics on this to see if what I'm doing might actually work. But the general idea is find levels that are visible on like the 15-minute, 5-minute, and 1 minute, and then trade based on the lower time frames. And I basically want to use the buy support and sell resistance. So here, as an example, you look at that bearish candle right there. With that, if I saw this in time, I would have sold this right here, put stop loss above here, and then TP at where my entry now is. So that would have been the first trade, and that would have been a winner. And then, of course, when we come down to this level, this is untested breakout level. I want to go long here, stops below the swing low below the level, and then just TP at wherever makes sense above, which is basically this. You got resistance here, and we'll see. The idea is to take trades that are no smaller than half an hour, and if I can get high risk reward trades, which is basically what determines the take profit for this, is just the FTA. Okay, so if I would have gotten an entry down here, then of course that would have been an FTA. So I guess this trade not perfect, but the this exercise also comes from the exercise that Mark Douglas outlines in Trading in the Zone. So this exercise is about not flawless execution, but it's about emotionless execution. So I'm gonna practice executing every idea I have at the time of just the first initial idea that I get. Okay, I think this would be a good long. Okay, execute. That no emotions attached, no thinking, nothing, and then see if that makes a difference. And honestly, I think that's going to be making a huge difference, because we all know that if when you're trading a bigger account, or you're trading an account that you really care about, or you're at the last stage of your evaluation, or maybe you're on a funded account and you're going to scale it up, it becomes quite emotional. So the next trade that you're taking, you're going to start thinking about it. You're going to start thinking like, oh, what if this is a loser? What if I'm going to lose the account? Like, what if all of that? But an account like this, where I'm just going to lose $95 and that's it, there's no emotions attached. I can just take whatever trade I'm taking, and what that does is it's built discipline. It builds discipline on following the rules and then executing without emotions. Yeah, I don't think I mean, yeah, if it goes well, I'm going to stop out. You're absolutely right on that. I also do not think I'm going to get stopped out if it works right. But yeah, I'm looking at this, and technically it makes sense. But then the question is there an edge in trading EU like this? Maybe this is better trading on your NCD that likes to trade a trend, or another pair, maybe gold, or we'll see. But this is pure. It's basic stuff here. Basic stuff. So we'll see.
And we have
Yeah,
our
yeah.
friend Hamed, who came just in. Hi, Hamed. If you are just coming in, you're asking yourself, what are we doing today? What is happening on the screen? Well, we just witnessed Jonathan opening a new challenge, a bootcamp account, and he will be trading it with a different strategy than his, more discretionary, and he might go over the rules of that, and we'll go live. It'll be a reality kind of thing, right? Reality show where you can see inside, behind the scene, what's happening as he's doing it. And it's going to be
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if it goes well right away or not, because in everything there's a lesson to be learned, right? And that's what he's trying to
Yeah.
be telling you, that he is, even if you don't pass a challenge, it gives you valuable information if you record and journal and ask yourself why you did this, why did you do that. And the lesson might be, this may not work for this pair, or this or maybe it is working well, and you think, okay, maybe I need to build a second strategy based on this way of approaching the market. All of that
And that's exactly. I
information.
have to interrupt you, that, but that's exactly what I'm doing here. So, and I didn't really talk about that, but what I'm doing here is I'm trying to uh, build, or at least start building a low time frame system. So I'm thinking that doing these evaluations and doing it live will not only like show you guys, like, it's full transparency. These are the accounts that like, this is a real evaluation account. We're taking these trades, we're taking it live here for you guys, and you can we can follow, you can follow along the whole process here with. So if I lose this account, but let's say I have a high win rate, but I lose the account. Okay, so I'll look at that win rate and I say, well, okay, so I have a high win rate, but I'm losing the account, which means that I have a high win rate, but I'm making too little money on the winners. So the first thing I'm thinking is, okay, so I need to perhaps increase the average R of the trades. Maybe I can see if some of the winners can become runners. Maybe some of the winners can become big winners. I'll have a lower win rate, but I'll have a few big winners. Maybe it's just that simple that I have to limit risk per trade. And if I only limit risk per trade, then I would maybe have past evaluation, because sometimes we're risking too much and the drawdowns takes it out of the game. But then that drawdown would have been fully reversed, and then we'll continue. So sometimes, we've talked about that previously, like the risk of ruin as well. Like, we probably don't want to go into detail on that right now, but these are the things that we're going to be discussing and talking about throughout the course of this experiment. And because of the fact that I'm trading a lot of time frames, it's like it feels like there's always an opportunity on the lower time frames, and that's also exciting. That's very exciting to me because if I can have that swing trading system, which is just very boring, I must say, very very boring, and the stress that I'm getting from that swing trading system is stress coming from lack of trades. And if I can fix that by trading this in the meantime and making money on both system, well, you do the math. That's not only helping me emotionally, but it's also making me more money. And I think for most people out there, that's the sweet spot, right? You have one swing trading system and one day trading system. But I got to tell you, uh, that's not going to work for everyone. And I think it's not going to work for me because I'm just not really good at trading low time frames. But that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm doing this experiment to learn to execute on the lower time frames without any emotions attached. And I have some issues with that because the candles are moving so quickly on the lower time frames, and I do get affected emotionally by candle movements. Like that's why I like swing trading better, because there's nothing happening at the time of entering the trade. Like the 4-hour candle doesn't really move, but the 1-minute candle or the 5-minute candle that we're watching here, uh, it does affect me. So if I can remove that, if I'm able to execute without having any emotions here, then that would be awesome. And that's the whole idea of this experiment. So what we're seeing right now when we do have a shift, basically, and what I mean by shift is if we just have red candles going down, there's nothing to talk about. But now we have a structure, we have something happening. We have a one bullish candle here on the 5-minute, and soon perhaps we'll have another bullish candle on the 5-minute. And now we have a structure. So now we have a new low where if we come up here, I can move my stop loss up between these lows. And if we do get a rejection here, I'll just exit this one for a very small win, and then I'll start looking for a new trade.
Nice. Yeah,
Okay.
you're getting more information about that account, and that's you're measuring. That's what we should be doing as trader. We should measure. If you have an idea, if you think that this is profitable, measure it. Either
Yeah. And
backtest with no risk at all, or with some risk, because that is also, you're also measuring how you are behaving with a little bit of money on the line. And ideally, you don't want to have a lot of money on the line, but that's also something you have to practice, right? How do you deal with those emotions when you do have skin in the game? Because
this is a really
in
good
the end,
question here. Yeah. Go ahead, and then we're gonna cover this
yeah,
question right
in the
here.
end, it's you have to focus on building that system. If you think there is some edge in a particular strategy, and then you measure it, you conclude there is, eventually you'll have to execute on it. And what you're doing right now, Jonathan, is testing both of them, the strategy and how you behave on a different time frame than what is
This is
you're
Euro
accustomed to.
USD, so it's Euro USD, and I might have to add a watermark on this. Yeah, so two things I want to cover here. Yeah. Well, no, because it's over trading. It depends on what strategy. Like over trading means taking more trades than your system allows. So over trading is basically, for me, over trading is about like there's no such thing as taking too many signals. If you get a signal of your system, then that's a signal of the system. Then you should take every good signal of a system you should trade. That's not over trading. Like, but if you take 4 signals in a day, and then the fifth trade you take isn't in your system, then that's over trading. So over trading is basically taking more trades than your system allows. So
I think
I'm
the point here is that you're going to a lower time frame, so we'll be getting many more signals on this time frame,
yeah,
and that's why it will look like overtrading, but it's not the same time frame.
exactly. It's not. Yeah, exactly. Over trading is taking trades that aren't their free system. Yes, exactly. What's
Yeah.
up? What's up, Galaxy Production? Especially channel. Nice. Okay, so you can okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm trading live, but I'm actually expecting to lose. Okay. Let me repeat this. This is very important. So I've bought a bootcamp account, 25K, $95. I'm expecting to lose $95. I'm risking $95 to answer a question. Can I trade EU with pure price action on 1 minute? It's going to cost me $95 to most likely know that no, I'm not going to be able to trade this way. Um, there's a reason why. I mean, yeah. So don't copy this, okay? Do not copy this. This I'm not. I'm not. You shouldn't copy this because I'm expecting to lose. If you're following whatever I do here, uh, expect to lose because I haven't tested this. And if you're trading something that you haven't tested, well, you can expect to lose. Um, yeah, if and yes, you're right on point here. I'm definitely taking a lot of inspiration from Saul here. Like yeah, I am because I'm watching Saul trade. You know, when he comes on and he explains the system, he's like, and you can see that. Like he would probably look at this and he would probably say like, oh, there's an area here, but he would probably already have taken profits here. You know, so he would probably have taken a few trades on this move already. But yeah, I'm trying to understand what I'm trying to build a system live here, which is very
Which is
very
courageous, I might
complicated.
say.
Yeah, it's
You have that added factor that you're doing it live in front of
yeah,
everyone. So it takes it adds a little bit of something there, difficulty level there,
yeah,
psychologically.
definitely.
So that's I think it's a great training as well in uh, because trading live has another dimension to it. So by doing it, even if it doesn't work, and maybe especially if it doesn't work, it will make it more comfortable the next time you're trading live.
So I think I missed an opportunity here. My entry was too early. So my entry was too early, and my take profit was too high. Like the opportunity here was entering around this area right here, and then take a profit at this level right here. So I'm gonna try to adjust the setup to what it should have been, and that would be something like this right here. So now this is going to be a very very small winner. I'm not even sure if I'm going to make back. Well, I'm going to make some back here, but I have to make sure that at least I'm limiting my losses a little bit because if price moves lower here, yeah, I want to be out of this trade. I don't want price coming down below these wicks because then it might just continue lower. I'm going to place my TP here because right now I feel like this type of price action, I just want to make sure that I'm not losing too much on this one right here because it does look like it wants to continue lower. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. Um, yeah, I mean, of course, you can of course win. Like we have in comments, that you can of course win by just purely trading discretionary. That's of course it's there's thousands of different ways, if not tenth of thousands of different ways to trade, and that I would say that discretionary trading. Scalping discretionary trading is probably one of the most profitable ways of doing it, but if only a handful percentage of people out there are profitable trading, then probably a handful of the profitable people are discretionary scalpers. It's very very difficult to make money in trading with being a discretionary scalper, but it's definitely definitely
Possible.
definitely possible. Yeah. So what we're seeing right now is this is on the 1 minute right here, and I'm just trying to read price action one candle at a time or one tick at a time here. And what I'm seeing now is obviously we get a reaction to this level right here. Okay. And I'm thinking maybe we'll take it up here. But again, I feel like we're now in an overall downtrend, like a local downtrend with lower highs and lower lows, but this could break the structure. And we are seeing a potential change of this structure with, let's see, the 1 hour candle is going to close shortly, probably now, right? No, okay, so
4
right.
minutes.
I mean the 1 minute candle. I mean
Oh,
closing
okay.
in, it close any in a second, I believe. Um, yeah, so this is a good question right there on confirmation. Yes, so this is a confirmation. For example, that bullish candle right there. If I would be looking at this, then I would be like this. This is a trade I could be taking with an entry here. You know, entry here, stop loss here, and then actually it would actually be the same levels that we're watching right now, because that candle right there, that you have a rounded, first you have a wick right here. This wick tells me that there's, some buying pressure coming in. You have a horizontal level right here. Let's see if I can actually add this. It is very, I'm not very good with MetaTrader, but we have a level here, right? So that is the break and retest of that level. And then I want to take that trade up to the FTA. And the FTA in this case is actually going to be right here. So I do actually think I have to take some profits there. And this would be the actual trade. Based on this 1 minute candle right here, I'll move my stop loss up here, limiting that loss even more if we can get above my entry right here. But now we have that shift of structure that I'm talking about. We have a W structure right here, almost like almost like a W double bottom structure right here. I would love to have seen that right leg being a little bit higher than the left leg, and then we have a break and a retest off that level right here. And if we add the fib, you will see that that is inside the reload zone as well. So there we have the 618 and the reload zone below. So it's basically a break and retest inside the reload zone. It's just the way I'm trading with swing trading, but I'm trying to apply the exact same rules and exact same structure on the lower time frames. But you see, my entry is here. Okay, so you can definitely see that I was too early. If you go back to the 5 minute, you see that I entered on that candle lower. If I would have entered on confirmation, I would have entered on that 5 minute candle right there. So if I zoom in to make sure that you guys can see this correctly, can I zoom in? I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, that candle right there, that was confirmation. Price comes up, price goes down, bullish candle, enter on the candle close, stop loss below, would have already been in profit on that trade right now. So this is the break and retest. Now we go to the 1 minute and we see the exact same structure, break and retest. Where's confirmation? Confirmation is that candle right there, that bullish candle. And that's it. That's basically it. Very, very simple. You don't have to add the fibs for this. You don't have to add the stochastic RSI. You don't have to add even horizontal levels, because I can clearly see that that's a horizontal level. There's no tools needed to see that that's a horizontal level. So now we're breaking above that entry. When I get a 1 hour 1 minute candle closing above that entry, which will happen in 3, 2, 1, 0, I'll move my stops below that wick and securing the trade a little bit. So now we're around break even. I'm hoping to just take this trade a little bit higher to basically get out around break even, because I executed this trade very poorly. This trade should have already been a winning trade. So hopefully I'll make back the commissions on this trade right here. If not, it's going to take out my stop loss and I will lose out 0.25% of risk.
There's a good question by Gerald, our friend Gerald, who asks, are you going to be putting on the zones, the lines in this way of trading on the lower time frames, which is much more quicker, or are you just doing it with your naked eye?
I'm well, for the sake of this experiment, I should be putting the levels on. But when I'm trading, if I'm going to be trading, not if I'm not going to be live, if not going to be doing the, okay, you know what, I'm gonna close this trade right there for like 6R. Okay, so I'm using a very, very small loss on that one. You can see that the commissions I paid a little bit more than the profit in commissions, but would rather get out around break even. So I'm currently down right now. I'm down to $2 on this account, which is fine. Managed to get out of this trade around break even. So again, this trade should have been a winner already, and the fact that I'm in a losing trade that should have been a winner, then I just want to get out at as small of a loss as possible, because you see that that's clear resistance, and now we're going down. So this would have been my entry right here, and then that would have been my TP where I sold. So I managed to get out of this for a very small loss, is $1, which is basically break even, and this should have been a winner. What we're gonna do now is I'm gonna come down and I'm gonna come back in 10 minutes. I'm gonna answer all your questions. So keep them coming while we're on a break. Please ask any questions that you would like. If you wanted me to break down this in TradingView and show you exactly what I'm gonna be trading with the system, let me know if you want that while we're on the break. So we'll be back in 10 minutes and we'll see you very soon.
See you in 10.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Got a trade open right here, hoping that it's going to hit TP right now. If not, I'm going to take profit on that one. Let's see if we get a good rejection. Let's see. Nah, I want to move higher.
I
If it
think you will hit TP.
Yeah, me too. But if there's a rejection on that previous wick, then yeah, okay. So
There
let's
you go.
TP on that one. So we're now up $35 on this one. Not a lot, but still a profitable trade. Okay, so let's break that one down. Very simple. Okay, like this is very simple. Now, what you have here is obviously what I saw is you had we had that big move down. So first of all, the trade that I closed at entry would have been a loser if I didn't close it. So that's a win in of itself. I view that as a big win. I view that as a profitable trade, even though I lost $1 on that one. So we had a big move to the downside, a very strong impulse move to the downside. And what happened here? Well, we had a wick. Okay, we had a wick coming down to the area where they had previous wicks. Also, watching this area, there's a horizontal support level right here. And previously, this level has been acted as support. So what did I do? As soon as I started seeing a reaction, and we had that wick on this candle, market buy, stop loss at the tight. So this is the thing, right? Bootcamp doesn't have huge leverage. So I risked 0.25% and put the stop loss at the tightest possible level for me to be able to have that position size with that leverage. And that gave me a good risk to reward just up to these levels right here. Okay, just up to this very, like, because I'm viewing that as the FTA. This level right here, that's the FTA. So enter here, sell here. And then my stop loss was all the way below, to go back to the 5-minute, all the way below these wicks right here. Because I knew that we might come down and grab, again, I'm gonna grab some liquidity, whatever that means. But down to this level, just lower, test this support lower, but I'm having my stop loss down here just for small initial bounce. And this is the way I'm going to be trading this account. It's just making small amounts of money on each trade, just scalping, basically, just discretionary scalping. And it's I know that it if you're coming into this live stream and you're new in trading, it might not be easy to understand what I'm doing right here. There's no levels on here. There's nothing. There's just price action. But obviously, like, if I add a horizontal level here, you'll see that, okay, there's a horizontal level right there. Okay, the red line right here, there's a horizontal level. Price hits it once, bounce twice. We got the bounce. I want to enter this move. Where do I put my stop loss? I want to put my stop loss below this level. Where do I TP? At the FTA, which is right here. That gives me about half an hour profit. Now, what's interesting about this is I'm starting to move away from the idea that we risk to reward doesn't mean the same thing anymore for me. What's more important is levels and price. I'm trading price. I'm not trading risk to reward, which has been, like, I've heard people say that, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, but I never really understood what that means. And I've been trading for 7 years. Can you imagine that? I've been trading for 7 years, and it's this year that I've realized what that actually means. Okay, which means that we're always going to evolve. Be evolving in trading, and with our experience, with our knowledge. Trying to adapt to what we want to be doing here. And what that truly means is, you want to be developing a system, right? And you talk about, oh, I want this win rate and this risk to reward, and that's good. That's a really good starting point. But what you should realize as well is, when you're trading level to level, you can't not take a trade because the risk to reward is slightly less. So maybe the risk to reward on this trade is slightly less because I need at least 2 R for every trade. But what you need to realize that it's not about the risk reward of a specific trade. It's about the risk reward of all your trades combined, and that's something very very different. So looking at this right here, uh, this was my FTA. But what happens if this level doesn't exist? If this type of price action doesn't exist, well, then this is my FTA, one level above, and now all of a sudden the trade becomes a 2 hour trade, you know, or at least a 1 hour trade. So it goes from half an hour to 1 hour. So we're basically just following where the FTA is, and for some weird reason, I've seen that half an hour it's often aligning with half an hour, which I don't know why, but usually a lot of times. And if you zoom out, if you look at the 5 minutes, now price is testing that higher level. So one way to forward, develop this system, continue to develop this system would be um looking at the second trouble area. What if I take profits at the second trouble area, or what if I take 50% off at the FTA and then 50% at the second? So there's a lot of things we can do here. Yes, I'm risking 1 hour to make a lot of times lower than 1 hour. So I'm risking more than when I'm risking more than I win, but the win rate with this way of trading should be quite high, because I'm just asking the market for a very very small move, and I'm trading based on key levels. And if you have price hitting a key level, then you know that there's a big chance that that key level will cause a reaction, and it's that initial reaction that I'm looking to make money on, which means that, I mean, look at a price chart. Look at EU. We can look at EU, and then you can go to the daily, mark out the strongest level on the daily, and then ask yourself, how often does price have no reaction at all when hitting that level? And you're going to have a hard time finding a level where there's no reaction at all on even the 1 minute, right? It is going to be tough to find a level like that.
Yeah, usually only when you have high impact news that it goes through it like hot knife through butter. But
Exactly.
most of the time, most of the rest of the time, which is above 90% of the time, it will have some kind of reaction. And there's a quite I how did you get to that level where you entered? How did you measure that level, the one you just took out? The
Yeah.
31.3, I think it was. On how do you decide that's the level?
Okay, that's a good question. So you mean
Yes.
this level?
What is
Yeah.
it?
Okay. So
What
that,
is it? A candlestick? Is it a close? Is it a wick? Is it a number of touches?
yeah,
What is it that made you put it right there and not a pip above or a pip below?
very simple. There's no candle opening and closing above that level, other than the breakout.
Hold on. There's no candle opening and closing.
Well, there's one. There's one right here.
Mhm.
Um, So, but it's closing on the level. So there's no one candle opening and closing above that level. Okay. So you have all the candles are either, closing or opening
before it
on the.
before it had that impulsive move up.
Exactly. So the breakout, like this is the open and close above the level right here. Okay. But below it, there's only wicks, there's only fake outs. There's a
Okay.
wick here, fake out here, wick, and then the true breakout comes here. And to me, a true breakout is when you have a candle opening and closing above the level. This also creates a clean rounded retest, a clean level, because now look at what happens next time this level gets tested. Right here, strong reaction, right on that very level right there. So this is the level that broke. This is the level that caused a true breakout, which again, I define a true breakout with having a open and close above the level. First retest right here. Now this is the strong move. This is really the moves that I want to be trading, right? So
Um,
now we had it.
no, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You
Um,
you first.
Now, look, because it intrigues me. Now, if you don't mind, go look at the H1, right? Zoom in as much as you can. What do
Yeah.
you see there, where price came and bounced off?
This
The
one right
same
here. Yeah,
level.
I
Yeah.
see. Yeah. Is that yeah? You mean this one right here?
No, no. I mean, I
And that
mean, where
candle?
there? There you go. Yes. Where
Did
the yes that. What do you see there?
is that an
In
order block?
yes,
Yeah,
that's it. That
yeah, yeah.
so
And also it's
it's
very clear here on it's very clear on the 1 hour as well. There's no candle closes above. There's no candle
uh-huh.
closes above, and there's no. You can also apply the same logic here. An open and close above the level confirms the breakout. This is the open and close, and then the first retest. So I think when you talk about when actually, you know what, I have to interrupt myself to look at this. Yeah, you know what, this this is something that I also think about a lot. Like literally, I dream about this. Like it's like this is this because sometimes I go to bed and like, what if what if I would have let that 1 minute trade run? What if I would? Yeah, because some of the times the low time frame trades that we get, they move and move and move and they run for so long and it creates the biggest risk to reward trades, but not very often. And I've experimented with this quite a lot, letting the winners run and cutting the losers early. And there's two problems. From a psychological point of view, it's very difficult to be patient with your winners, and it might not actually work very well because the win rate is going to be low, so but yeah, this is yeah, and here, like, this guy disagrees. You want to take profits, and I think I'm along this route. I would rather have like an 80% win rate and take profit at half an hour than to have like a 30% win rate and have 1 10 hour winner every other month or something like that. It's because that's truly what I believe will happen. Now with the way you're trading, Victor, you're trading differently. You're looking for that high risk reward trades, but you have lower win rate as well. And you're
Yes. Well, the thing is, I mix two, not two, but multiple time frames. So those high risk reward trades are specific, where they are not the same as the ones that have a TP maybe of 3R, which I also have. And the reason is because I let the alignment of my setups, the alignment in time frame, dictate if I'm going to hold them or not. So I enter on the 1 minute and I take to the very next level, might be only 1 to 3, 1 to 2.5, 1 to 3.5, and but that's only if I don't have any higher time frames, like much higher, telling me that I can hold this trade. And if I can, those are the ones that I let go. So I try to I think everyone that has some time building their system has this dilemma, right? Dilemma where if you hold your trades, you get more winners, the bigger winners per trade, but less often. And it's that sweet combination that will decide whether you're going to be profitable or not. And if you, and it's for every system is different. What works for one
I've just
system.
entered a trade here, just making sure that you guys understand. So that's a short right here, shorting that one, TP down here, stop loss all the way up here. Looks like I'm in a
Very nice.
right.
Ooh,
Nice. Okay.
ooh, that's gonna be a very quick one.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on. Closing that one right there. Okay. It's good. Nice. We're up
Very, very nice.
$63. So we're up a quarter of a percent today. Nice.
Very good.
I'm on
And
fire. God
that was a
damn it,
quick
guys.
one.
Let's do this. Nice. Let's not get
Very
euphoric,
nice.
they say. Yeah, I don't care.
It's I
Yeah,
think
go
it's
ahead, Victor.
yeah, no, it's when you do this, it when you're able to see price action in as it is developing and you capture it, it's such a great feeling. And
Oh
that's
yeah.
what you get when you do discretionary, because there is no fixed, it's not mechanical. It depends on you reading the market as it is happening. So very, very nice.
Yeah.
But what I was saying was that every system where the sweet spot is of where you are profitable when you're tweaking with the risk reward ratio, the multiples that you're going for in your TP and your win rate, right? Because you can play along with your TP, and even also with your stop loss for a bigger TP, a bigger R multiple as the winners. But when you adjust those two dials, you're going to have automatically your win rate will adjust to it. And where that profitability lies is different for every system. So what someone looking at this at home saying you're risking less than you're risking more than you're going for, it doesn't they might think, okay, that doesn't make sense. Well, depending on the system, that may make sense, right? Because if you measure both of them, and you play along with them, you're going to see that it's different for every system. For some system, and that's what you have discovered a couple of months ago, Jonathan, by gravitating towards a negative risk reward, it's much more easy to um, have profitable runs, and that's what you've been having.
Yeah.
So and that's in the end, that's what we want. Do we really want high risk? I mean, high R multiples as winner? Is that the ultimate goal? No. The ultimate goal is to be profitable and consistently.
Yes.
However, that may come. If that comes with a low win rate or with a high win rate, it doesn't matter. It is where you measure that you are constantly profitable. And that's what you should be looking for. And we should not limit ourselves to think that only multiple TPs, multiple R in TPs is profitable. It's as many things in trading, it's counterintuitive sometimes, and just let the data tell us for your system which one is better. So there's no right and wrong in that. As the only right here is wherever you are profitable. That's the right answer.
Yeah, definitely. So now we have, I'm going to just copy paste this just for full transparency. Going to make sure that I'm not sharing any personal details here, but this, so right now, this is what we have on the bootcamp account that we've just entered on this live stream right here. Now it's a I like the profit factor of 33. But of course the numbers are not correct here. Average trade duration is 11 minutes, but it's just 3 trades. But what I want to do is I want to try to continue doing this in every live stream, and I'll be showing the whole process and the way I'm trading. And it's important to realize, guys, that I'm trading when somebody says that they're trading discretionary. It doesn't, like, a lot of people hear that and say, oh, it's just guessing, or it's just something like that. But what I'm doing is I've conditioned my mind to see certain patterns, and I'm seeing those patterns because I have 7 years of experience looking for the patterns. And we as humans, we're very good at identifying patterns, and we can intuitively identify patterns, I believe, before our mind consciously recognize that as a pattern. So that's why you need a lot of experience, a lot of chart reading, and a time on the charts to be trading discretionary. So if you're just starting out, I do not recommend being a discretionary trader because you have no knowledge to take discretionary decisions based on. So do not follow this. Like, when you develop your own system, if you want to be trading like me, you're not going to be trading exactly like me. We're going to have Saul on here on Wednesday, and I'm going to be trading beside him the way he's trading. We're not going to be looking at the same levels. We're sometimes I'm going to short when he goes long. That's because we view these patterns from different perspectives, basically. But yeah, we'll continue. As you can see, I got a long way till target. And again, one winning day does not mean that this is a profitable system. But if I do pass this evaluation, then I think I have something here because I'm gonna have a very large number of trades if I pass this evaluation, which to me
A lot of data.
would mean that, yeah, a lot of data, and to me it would mean that it's profitable, because I would probably have like hundreds of trades, If I'm able to pass an evaluation of the hundreds of trades, then yeah, that's definitely a profitable system.
Yeah. We see the audience is missing Alex. We do too, guys.
Yeah,
Alex is having the vacation, a well-deserved vacation. He's traveling through Europe. I'm not sure where exactly he is, but he is living the life,
yeah, he's
traveling
on
through
his
European
bike.
countries. On his bike. Maybe he's in the Alps right now. Maybe he is in the French Riviera. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah, no, it's I do miss him though. I hope he's gonna come back here and we can you
Or
know
or maybe he's
I'm
running in front of a bull in a bull
oh
run, in
yeah,
a
yeah,
Spanish bull run.
yeah, he did talk about how he was thinking about doing that thing where he got that bull running in the streets, chasing people. So, I do want him to get back, so hopefully he's it doesn't do that because looks fun but dangerous. But I think I'm definitely going to challenge him to do a challenge like the one I'm doing here with an evaluation account. It's gonna be interesting. So as you can
Yeah,
see, I'm back with TradingView here because I feel like I not sure I want. Not sure I want to be trading now. I mean, I guess I could be just continue trading. Um, but I also want to check up on my swing trading. So what I'm going to do is I got my swing trading is in TradingView, and then I'll because I you can't be doing analysis on the 1 minute and then switching over to MetaTrader on the 1 minute. It's too quick. So I'm just checking up on my possible swing trades right here, and the 4 hour candle did just close here, and there's no confirmation on GJ, GBP, JPY, Euro NCD, no confirmation on Euro NCD either, and USD CAD, no confirmation on USD CAD either. There's no confirmation on any of these trades, and that's it. That's now I'm done probably for the day. Next confirmation comes in 3 hours and 20 minutes, and that's how fun swing trading is. Uh, so now that I'm done with that, that means I can, switch back to MetaTrader. So I do think it's, no, that's not the right one. That's the wrong one.
that was mine.
Oh yeah, wait, I get it. Where's MetaTrader at? The trader.
Um, in the meantime, I will show you guys. We talked about the order block on the H4 that we needed to wait 24 minutes or 28 minutes for it to show or to close as an engulfing or not. And it did, right? It did form that engulfing. And that was after it hit a daily order block above us with that shaded brownish color. So we didn't expect that to happen in the first place, but it did happen, and it happened in the relevant place. So I interpret that as a reaction to that order block, right? The same thing we just talked about, that those structures, those levels, those order blocks, you will get some kind of reaction a lot of the times. And this is a reaction on the H4, right? A reaction on the daily order block. So if you go to the lower time frames, we identify a structure, right, where it previously the sellers came in. So this is the area to me now I'm interested in, right? This is the area that I'm interested in. Here I want price when price gets in, and it may not do that today, but if and when it gets in during while the session is still open, I will be looking. I will go to the lower time frame and try to see indication of price reversing, right? Slowing down, decelerating, breaking structures on those lower time frames, and then I might get a signal getting short from that area, and I will use order blocks quasi on those time frames and targeting something lower. If the now we have an H4, depending on how it gets out of this structure. So what I'm expecting is it coming back to this area and then moving out. the way, right, the manner in which it gets out of this area, if it indeed happens, but the way it does it will tell me if I should be targeting this or not. If it shows as an H4 also, as an engulfing or a big pin bar or an outside bar on the H4, right? Then it gives me like the assurance that I can target a structure, the relevant structure to be targeting, and the relevant time frame for the structure to be targeting would be the H4, right? And if it doesn't do that, it tells you that you will have to take a take profit based on something else, more likely, because it's not telling you in the frequency of the H4, so you shouldn't be expecting it to be going to the H4 necessarily, right? So that's something, it's not happening. I would have wanted it to happen while we stream. We still have like 22 minutes to go, to get an entry in and have a, show you guys some live trades. But that didn't happen, so that's something, in my case, I will not be trading this, probably, because it doesn't look like it's going to happen within 20 minutes. And the area is based on the H2 and not the H1 in this case, but it could have been on the H1 as well. And on EU, which I didn't break down in my analysis, if I do it a little bit quicker, what I have is, we are on the monthly, we have those bearish structures in, but in spite of those supply zones or the bearish structures, the market seems to be building up bullish momentum, right? See how the bullish order block was formed, comes in, goes out of it, reacts the proper way as it does typically when it forms a fresh order block. And today, or this so far this month, you can see that it's very, very bullish, and that tells me that the market has changed. There's something that changed in the market. If you compare to price action that was before, let's say, this line, right? Before, it was most likely, well, not actually, I should put it here. Before this movement, you could see that price was decelerating, right? And somewhere in between this line and around here, you can see how it switches and the acceleration is to the upside. That's some basic tape reading. But on the weekly, what do we have? We have a outside bar on the weekly, which is this outside bar that was formed, and then we just broke, and I left this structure for you guys to see, that we broke an entry order block on the weekly, right? We broke a sell or a supply area, a bearish structure. That is a bullish sign. We're breaking bearish structures on the weekly. That tells me that, supports the idea that the buyers are in control. And we can see there is that outside bar. What does it do next? After it forms that outside bar, it forms another one, a subsequent one, and that tells us, it's building bullish structures on top of each other. To me, it's very clear that it is trying to go much higher. This is the last structure basically on that quasi to stop price. But this is quite wide, so it doesn't give us any information yet, and we'll have to see if price will be decelerating in this area, or will it keep momentum and keep going on. Because if it doesn't decelerate, it's likely just going to break and continue higher. If we go to the lower time frames, we have no indication. The same as we saw with the GU, we have no indication of pricing decelerating yet. See all this impulsive move, right? We are still having impulsive move to the upsides, and the retracements are not exactly as impulsive as the direction of the impulse. This is interesting. We haven't reached the weekly. We have reached the weekly yet, but we haven't reached a daily that is to the side of us, that we previously reacted quite nicely from it, which is this interaction we had. We haven't reached that yet, right? I'm talking about this order block. We haven't reached that. We have reached the weekly order block, though. And what do we see for this could be the first indication of a deceleration. On the weekly, we can't see that. On the weekly, we only see one big candle, which was the last one, and we don't have information. This candle is still moving, and it's the first day of that candle, so we can't say anything about it. But on the daily, we can see that we formed a a bullish and a bearish structure, very close to each other, right? That could be the first beginning of a deceleration. Doesn't mean it's going to reverse from here, but that could be the beginning where it is, maybe decelerating, maybe, right? We'll have to see if that's going to happen or not. Because now it's on the daily in any case, until it breaks this bearish structure, it it is getting in balance again, right? Not imbalance, but it is getting in balance again, right? Where the buyers and the sellers are able to form bullish and bearish structures close to each other, right? So that's what we have. And we go to the lower time frames. We have a clear bullish market structure, which higher lows and higher highs. So the market structure hasn't switched yet, and surely it hasn't broken any structure for neckline structure. My H4 would be down here, and it hasn't even attempted. So it's too early to say anything. This does not look like the market has switched yet. So we'll have to see. It doesn't look like it's stopping. We'll have to wait. But the daily does, the fact that we have two order blocks close to each other, and if we are able to not invalidate each one of them, that could be a sign, because it tells us if it breaks, let's say it breaks the bearish one today or tomorrow, we're back into that fully bullish plan script again, right? But if these two, bullish and bearish, are holding their ground and price starts going sideways from here without invalidating either one of them, that could be a sign that we are decelerating, and maybe we can have some retracement to the downside, right? But it's too early to say. So that will be something that I would be eager to see this week. And the relevant thing is that it is doing it within a weekly supply area, right? So it makes sense on the higher time frame as well to price to start decelerating and perhaps start testing some structures below us. But on the lower time frames, I don't have any indications yet. I don't have any structures here to trade from. This is not fresh anymore, that order block. So there isn't on EU. I don't have a possible signal coming in. And this is the area that you traded, Jonathan. Let me get this out of the way. That is the order block that I would, if I were to look for an entry or a reaction to the upside, it will be that structure. And what you just did is exactly what I look for, right? That those reaction from higher time frames, in this case the H1, a reaction on the lower time frame to it. So it was a great trade, by the way.
Thank you. I'm in another trade right now.
Oh, you're on fire.
Yeah. It's moving a little bit too slow though.
What is it? What pair are you in?
So it's EU. It's the same. It's same EU. Just looking for that small move up. All right. So I'm closing that one right now. Okay. Good. Winner. Nice. Another one.
Another one
Another
for
one.
the books.
Yeah. Okay. So let me break this one down then. Okay. So I closed it right below that TP. But let me break this down. And so we have. So we got this level here on the 50-minute. It's the level that you marked out as well, that order block. This is on the 50-minute, and then you can see on the 5-minute here we're testing those levels. And I looked at basically price coming down here, and we're not reaching that zone, but we're bouncing very close to it. So if I add a level to the low of the wick that I was watching, that one right there, we're still it's around the same type of price structure that we've tested before. So this is on the 5-minute. So I said, okay, so if we go lower and have a bullish reaction in this zone, I'll just keep buying this area. As long as we have bullish reactions inside this area, I'm just going to keep buying until I'm, until the whole idea is invalidated. So buy support, sell resistance, very simple. Down to the 1 minute, what piqued my interest was this bullish engulfing candle. Okay, so we have price a fairly strong breakout here. So this is untested level right here. Price comes down and starts moving slower. Have a bullish candle, bullish engulfing candle right here, which I quite like. But then we're coming down and we're testing the lows here. What caused me to enter was this second bullish candle right here, because now we have somewhat of a change in behavior. We have like a double bottom. We have two strong bullish candles, and I'm looking at basically trading it from these lows up to that untested level, and that's exactly what we did get. The only problem here, or the only thing here, is I had my stop loss all the way below this level. So I had my stop, and this is the thing, right? I want to use very wide stop loss. I had my stop loss all the way down here, because you never know if there's going to be like a crazy wick down, volatility coming in, crazy wick down, and then it starts moving higher. So as soon as I had confirmation of price wanting to move higher, and that was basically as soon as price went above this level, I moved my stop loss here, and then I had my TP. I believe I had my TP right, I think here. So again, like a half an hour trade. But now at least I'm up. I think we're up 0.6% or something on that
which
account.
is awesome.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
But
that's
now
awesome.
I think I'm done with trading this for the day. We can look at my trade history and you'll see where we traded this. So this was the first short to get out at entry, and then we went long down here, and I went short up here, and then we went long up here. So it's kind of like playing ping pong. You have two levels, and you know you buy when there's a bounce at support, and then you sell at resistance, and you're just taking profits on the very first initial reaction. But then you can look at this and you can say, well, what if I would have let my winners run? Okay, so this one, if I would have let this one run, that would have been a 1R loser. This one, however, could probably have been a 2R winner. This one here, probably also a 2R winner. So yeah, if this continues, then I'll just I'll compare all the trades with the alternative take profit strategy, and we'll see if that alternative takes profit strategy is better. Because if I'm able to make 2 or 3R on if I would have been able to do that today, then I would have been like 25% towards the target, which is, it's a little bit too good to be true. So it's dangerous to start thinking along those lines. Like, obviously, we're not going to pass an evaluation in 3 days of trading. So that's just not realistic at all. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. If price
Let's
comes
just
back
flow
down
with it.
here, like this, and then it bounces here, that could be a trade as well. But I want to make sure that I stick with the levels that make sense on higher time frames as well. So, well, not high time frames. In this case, it's 15-minute. But I guess is that an order block? Could be.
It is, but it hasn't closed yet. You mean, yeah, it is, but it hasn't closed yet.
This
You mean
bearish one.
the bearish one we are forming right now? We are testing right now?
No, this one right here.
There is a bearish and a bullish one that hasn't formed yet, and the bearish one did form, but it's now squeezed. So once it's squeezed, I don't see it as a it shouldn't be squeezing. By squeezing, I mean it's outside of it and menacing to invalidate it. If it's threatening to invalidate it, to me that's squeezing, and I don't use it anymore, because it shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
But there is a fresh H1. Is that H1? What time frame are you on? Let me see.
No,
You are
this
at
I was
50
on
and the 50.
I was
Yeah,
on the 50 minutes. Yeah.
yeah, there is a 50-minute order block right there. If I were to do a little top-down analysis, what do I see that we have a fresh H2 bearish that we tested. And well, let me show my screen perhaps, because I'm I'm talking without visuals. But what I have is on the H4, we don't have any order blocks being formed, right? So I don't have any information on the H4, and that's why I'm not touching it on the lower time frame. But what we do have is we did form a bearish order block on the H2, which is this one, right? So that is now uh, the market trying to retest it and trying to, right? This is the move it did, only considering this order block, and then it retested it here, and it made that move. So basically, with when it did this and take out this low, the effect on the H2 is over. At least in my mind, that's the first reaction, and that's the best reaction. So the first reaction has already been moved. So I don't use this order block anymore, because I think that it's did its job already, and the job was to for market to come back and at least take that line. If I can take it again, this is the movement that I typically look for the order block, and this is the end of that structure. So basically, I don't use this H2 anymore, and I could be using, I could be looking for something else. What else we have? We do have a bullish order block, right? That was formed, which is even fresher than the one that I just deleted, and price came into it and reacted favorably, right? So that tells me that's the same uh, reaction, or the same movement that I'm looking for, right? Price coming back into that order block, and it hasn't closed yet, and there's still an hour to go. So we shouldn't trust this candle, but if it closes like this, then I would say that this is at least the first target for it to go to. But I will have to see how it closes first. And on the lower time frames, of course, we have the structure below us that it clearly reacted on, which was this order block, which was the one of the reasons you got in. At least not the order block, but the level, which is the representation of the same. And I don't see anything here on the H1. I don't see an order block. There is. Let me get more. We go to the lower time frames. In this case, since I don't have anything on the 1 hour, I would look to the 30 minutes, perhaps something in between. And I do see those structures being formed. It retests it and forms it again, right? And it does it another time. So we have bullishness coming back, at least in this time frame, to the market, right? And that makes this move that we just had makes all the sense. Of course, you would be late by now, because you would have wanted to be trading it as it was coming in to that order block, which happened about an hour ago. And if you go to the lower time frames, let's see if we have a quasi, which would be a reason. And we do have a quasi here, right? And you would, but I don't see any structures on those time from the 5 minute in any case to get in. But it makes a lot of sense. All right. The market seems to be doing this, which is an established downtrend. Left shoulder, the head breaks the neckline and comes back to retest something in here as it moves out, right? And the first target would be this, because that's the structure. And if we have higher time frame behind you, you could target perhaps something higher, or maybe even the higher time frames. Order blocks on this daily, see that shaded brown like color. So that's what I see, and that's a very, very nice trade you did there. I got to admit, you read the price very, very nicely there. Even if we have different, doesn't matter, and this is maybe the learning part for the audience. What I'm using is completely different than what Jonathan uses. I mean, I go and check his lines, and they are parts of my structures, my order blocks. So uh and when you see that your multiple tools telling you the same thing, it's probably because there is something happening there. So there's a confluence in, and we have that confluence in traders. They're seeing the same thing. It's basically because that is what is happening in price action. That makes those tools stick, right? Those order blocks being formed, or those level being respected, etc. So very nice move from the levels that you reacted. I do have an entry here, but it's not it doesn't check all the boxes for me. But that would have been the area where I would be interested in entering for a. As you know, I'm the complete opposite of how you trade, where I go for that higher win rate, and which is, but of course I give up in order to get those higher R's on each trade. I give up the win rate. I don't have an 80 win rate as Jonathan has, not even 50. It's lower than 50, usually around 35, sometimes 30, sometimes 40. So it's you have to find out for your system what is most profitable, and even for your mindset, what kind of person are you. So,
Yeah,
but I didn't take
I
this.
think. Oh, go ahead.
No, yeah, no, I didn't take this because it's, as I said, I don't the H4. It doesn't invite me to go either short or long, so I'm not touching it because of that reason. But on the lower time frame, it makes a lot of sense that price will come back into that area, and this is basically the whole idea, the why I trade the way I trade. I look for, on the higher time frames, in this case the H1 and also the H2, look for higher time frame alignment, right, where of bullish structures being formed, and I wait for price to come back, retest them, and then I go to the lower time frames and try to find those structures in the market, either on the 3, on the 5, or whatever structure, and try to participate in the last lag it does. These are the structure, and this is the area that I want to be entering, and as it moves out. In this case, it worked very nicely. So if you bought that level and you had a proper stop loss, you will still be in the trade. That's basically what is a reversal pattern on the lower time frame that coincides within a bullish, or in this case demand area, on the higher time frames. And if you have that, you put your odds in your favor, and you can take the wave and to the next level. And in this case, the next level would be this will be my first TP FTA, which it would have just hit just now. Let me see.
All right.
Yep.
I
That
think
would be
that's
based on the structure.
we're coming up to 2 hours here, and I think we've covered a lot of interesting things here. And I feel like time is flies when you're live trading, especially on the lower time frames, because you're waiting for those candles to close, and yeah, it's time is really ticking fast when you're live trading. So guys, if you are watching it live or watching the replay, let us know in the comments if you if this is the type of things you want to see. If you want to see more live trading, straight from TradingView or MetaTrader, and me continuing to trade this evaluation account, let me know what you think, and we'll talk about integrating this more into a as an official segment in the live streams. All right, with that said, yeah, I think that's it. We're gonna continue tomorrow with more live trading. We're gonna update you guys on the swing trades, on Victor's trades, and on my EU trading as well. Let's see if it goes as well as it did tomorrow. All right, guys, thanks for joining, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Yeah, don't forget to hit that like button, and then we hope to see you tomorrow again. Bye-bye.
That's right. Take care.
Hi guys, so thank you very much for watching the video. Now make sure you like and subscribe, and most of all, go into the YouTube and check our other content.